Every day, drivers are demanding more efficiency, safety, and convenience in everything from their daily commutes to their social outings. We want to get places faster, with less congestion, fewer accidents, and less pollution, and we want to be able to safely use our devices in our vehicles whenever possible. And so the question becomes, what's the vehicle that gets us where we want to go in all of these areas? The answer is the vehicle of the future, autonomous cars empowered by 5G technology. A 5G-empowered autonomous car will have the ability to communicate with other cars and become the smartest, safest car-driver tandem on the road. Soon, autonomous cars will be able to determine all the details instantly for each trip. How to use the least fuel possible to reach a desired destination in the shortest amount of time. All with the benefit of eliminating tens of thousands of accident fatalities. It's time to shift gears into the future. The possibilities are limitless, and this is Boundless. How can the high speeds and low latency of 5G have an impact on the evolution of the road vehicle? With the help of 5G, autonomous cars loaded with sensors can communicate with each other and the infrastructure, which will have the potential to have a tremendous impact on our roads and highways. AI data collection, being able to measure weather conditions to traffic backlogs to car performance, will be a key component in making our vehicles safer. We spoke to Dean Bushy, General Manager of Voyage, to help explain the impact of 5G and autonomous vehicles.
Everybody talks about self-driving cars, self-driving taxis, self-driving trucks, autonomous vehicles, and they kind of use them interchangeably. We always usually say there's three V's, right? AV, CV, EV. And when I think we hit that nirvana, that's when it's fully beneficial. So the AV is really just an autonomous vehicle. Pretty cool, right? So right here, a car right there can drive autonomously, and it can sense the world around it, but it is not talking to somebody. As we connect this car, which requires a high-speed, very low latency communication network, 5G, then it becomes a sensor. And now I feed into a network communication system where I can see the whole city. Before I even leave my driveway, my car knows what everything is happening around it. It's not just 500 feet down the road. It knows exactly where all the potholes are. It knows exactly the best way to go. And it knows exactly where all the police department is. It feeds the network, and it actually is feeding the network back. And the last V would be EV, electric vehicles. All these cars go from being hybrid to electric vehicles. You save the environment, maintenance costs go way down, but all those require major shifts.
Autonomous vehicles will change the way we live. When a car is going down the road, it's not just talking to the car in front of it. It knows what's happening 5 miles down the road. All the cars are feeding information to each other about construction, potholes, and alternative routes you should take. All these pieces of information are being funneled into the network, which then feeds the information to users. Collecting even a fraction of that data is invaluable to improving everything from city planning to just making self-driving cars smarter through distributed computing, all of which will be enhanced by the 5G network.
Latency is huge. The data needs to be transmitted to the cell tower to the warehouse, and then the warehouse needs to provide inputs back to the car. That round trip for us is critical. Anytime we get over 100 milliseconds of latency, that's the time it takes for the signals to go from where it's happening to where it is actually needed. That's key. Right now, anything over 100 milliseconds of latency is going to cause our car to disrupt. So anytime we can get lower latency, higher bandwidth, latency is critical. Probably the most critical thing is the latency. That's where 5G comes in. 5G promises 1 millisecond latency. Wow, so now we've solved the latency problem associated with getting commands and video back and forth between the car and the command station. Autonomous vehicles is helping to solve the safety problem. One, you get rid of the parking problem. That's more of a recreational issue. Two, you get rid of the accidents. The people walking out in front of cars and cars not paying attention and having accidents that way. So the accident death rate goes way down. The mobility goes way up. So people have the interactions to the ability to go interact with other people, to do commerce, to commute, to get around, those communities now become more vibrant and alive. And then the vision of mine is, of course, you take those parking spots away, you make them public parks maybe. You see people out walking around more. The roadways are now safe. They're not dangerous anymore. The communities win big time.
With autonomous vehicles in the near future, prioritizing safety will be integral in the process of integrating this technology. We spoke with Soraya Kim, Chief Innovation Officer at the American Center for Mobility, about how this company is revolutionizing the autonomous vehicle integration.
I think that the speed at which 5G will be offered will make the connection between vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to infrastructure so much faster, so that it will be able to contribute to improving the public safety and the vehicles that are being developed for that purpose. Here at the American Center for Mobility, we prioritize public safety because we are a facility where you can do testing in a safe and repeatable environment so that your devices, your technology, your vehicle is able to be safe out on the public roads. We're working with automakers and Tier 1 suppliers right now so that they are able to improve their technologies in their automated vehicles. They need to test in a place that has real-world environments, but in a safe and repeatable one. And that's why we've incorporated a highway speed loop that actually is a real highway. And so these real-world environments, once a vehicle or a user or a tester tests here and proves its technology here, it can then go out into the real world knowing that it is able to meet the safety requirements of the road after having passed here. And so to that end, they're coming here. We have service providers like AT&T building out the 5G network. All of these service providers have come to ACM because they see us as the cutting edge test facility in the connected automated vehicle space. So we will be that hub that brings and convenes for all of these stakeholders in the connected and automated vehicle space. 5G here at the American Center for Mobility will factor into the intelligent transportation system offerings that we have here, including the traffic control signals and the V2I testing and the V2V testing. All of that will be available for our users and testers to test here.
But how will cities adapt to policies relating to autonomous vehicles? We spoke with Almas Udris, City of San Diego Deputy Chief of Staff, on innovation policy regarding this issue.
One policy that we have in place that applies to both cars that have drivers as well as autonomous vehicles in the future is our Vision Zero policy. And that's the policy that says that by 2025 we want to eliminate all vehicle-related deaths for pedestrians. And that's an important issue when you talk about mobility, because at any municipality you want to encourage people to bike, to walk, to use transit, kind of all of the above. We have an influx of scooters, the other disruptive technology we're dealing with. And wanting to allow people all the options, kind of all of the above strategy on mobility. It's important that you have safety policies like Vision Zero in place, like protected bike lanes. All of those things combine to help the AV landscape develop further.
As the autonomous vehicle becomes a reality, a 5G connection would allow a few humans to monitor a fleet of autonomous trucks and cars with the zero input lag that's necessary for safe remote control. With companies like Ford, Tesla, and Waymo leading the way, autonomous vehicles can change the way we move people and goods around the world and into the future. The possibilities are boundless.